Considering that lots of universities have gone into remote online teaching, we are now all adapting as students and professors. Moving into remote online teaching wasn't easy, but at least there was some sort of planning stage that has helped. Concrete planning and thinking went into this process to help us all succeed. I do have my own doubts and worries that come along with this learning method. Though I am still very grateful that I am able to take my classes to finish the semester, with time I will be able to adapt better. Yet, when I think of my own community, I notice that there are plenty of struggles that the school system has to endure. I was raised in Brockton, Massachusetts, and received all of my K-12 education from the Brockton Public School System. Through all of my years attending schools across the city, funding was always an issue. This didn't become apparent to me until my middle school years when more and more of my teachers began telling students that they had received a pink slip, meaning that the budget in place was not enough to keep paying them for the upcoming school year. This was common in our school district, all the way up to high school. Budget cuts and insufficient funds for education became even more evident to my classmates and me once we began attending Brockton High School. With a diverse student body of roughly 4,000 students attending the high school each year, we knew that what we had was not enough for all of us. At the end of every school year, we were all battling against the same monster: budget cuts. This resulted in the fear of no longer having certain classes being offered in the upcoming fall, the stress of not being able to be involved in bands, sports, and other extracurricular activities that shape our teenage lives, teachers being pink-slipped, being told that I couldn't have a piece of paper to write on because the school had a shortage. So many examples of a school system poverty that I thought were normal throughout all those years. This was probably never an issue for a school district receiving more money than us. And that angers me. I graduated from high school in 2018, and I'm already now finishing my second year of college. Everything I explained hasn't changed. Brockton has never been a city to receive the correct amount of funds for all of the students who live within the community. Being home all day due to COVID-19, I see my younger brother remotely attending high school during this pandemic. Even after 3 weeks or more, he hasn't been taking any sort of online classes because lots of students around the city don't have the resources at home. The only way that they could all start would be if the city could collect enough funds and lend out laptops for all of the students to use. During the first 2 weeks my brother was home, he did not receive any information about what will happen to his classes. At the end of the second week, his English teacher emailed her students and told them that they will have to read and keep a journal of what they will accomplish during the day, but she stated that this work will not be graded. After my little brother told me this, we just sat there wondering what would happen. He even asked me if students would have to repeat the grade because no one is learning. It makes me angry and frustrated knowing that other school districts are able to overcome this with less of a hassle because they have the resources to do so, and low-income communities like Brockton cannot. Everything happened so quickly and took a turn that none of us could have imagined. Of course, in an emergency, some things have to fall to the back seat, but that's not the problem. The problem is that Brockton doesn't have the resources to begin with to be successful at a time like this. On Thursday, April 2nd, 2020, the school district was able to hand out 4,000 laptops for the students in need. This is great, and I know Brockton school leaders try to do anything in their power to help their students succeed. But it is a fact that it took about 3 weeks to distribute these basic learning resources to students across the community. The communication about when students would come back to school also was an issue, and there was no clear plan being shared with the parents and guardians of the students. We are all having a hard time understanding everything that is happening, but low-income communities are suffering at a higher expense. Knowing that there was no support for them at the start and now amidst a pandemic, there is no clear path for the students to move ahead educationally and economically. I know that the city of Brockton is trying its hardest to support the students and find different manners to figure everything out. Yet, just knowing that low-income and underrepresented communities hurt the most when things go wrong is frustrating and unfair. It's discouraging to me because I care about the community I was raised in. I care about the young students who are attending public schools in this district. Knowing the immense amount of talent and knowledge the city has, yet without the right support and funding, these students will have a harder time in achieving and being recognized. We are a city filled with people from so many different cultures and backgrounds, with different languages being spoken around us daily. Brockton has shaped me into the person I am today. The public schools I have attended and the programs I was a part of have always given their all so that I could benefit from them. The Brockton public school system deserves more than having to worry about budget cuts every year during the best of times. Low-income communities and underrepresented populations shouldn't have to fight for something that white and higher-income communities receive so easily. During all those years of my public education, my classmates and I should not have had to come to terms with such daily inequality and learn to believe that the norm for us was not having enough of anything. In light of this pandemic, I know for certain that communities like Brockton have always deserved more.